This week on the Southern Fried Philosophy podcast, my disdain for the TV show This Is Us, a bill being passed for a solution to eating Tide Pods, and back with us again, Maj Toure, to discuss the SHOT Show, 2A News, and the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. You're listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy. Here we go! The views and opinions of Southern Fried Philosophy are not necessarily those of our sponsors, friends of the show, or guests, but they should be.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is the head solutionary Maj Toure from Black Guns Matter, and you're listening to Southern Fried Philosophy.
Words cannot describe how awesome Robert and his team at Webmerized are. In our time of need, Robert came through for us and devoted more time than expected to help our organization develop our new website. It truly is a blessing to have an individual that can speak to the average person not in the IT world in a manner that can easily be understood. The process of working with his team was painless, and I look forward to working with them for future projects. Our website is spectacular, and I'm really proud of what was developed by Webmerized. Thanks. Don't take Stella H's word for it, and also Southern Fried Philosophies, but go out to webmerized.com, WEBMERIZED, or check out the sponsors link on our website. And if you mention the word biggin in your order, you'll get 10% off. Check them out at webmerized.com for your web services needs. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy podcast, where it's two guys take on life, liberty, and the pursuit of gravy, and you, the listener, are getting a degree in common sense. We are broadcasting from the Busted Knuckle Studios right here in beautiful downtown historic Concord, North Carolina. I'll be your host, Biggin, and how about you? We've got a great show lined up for you as always, but before we begin, let me introduce you to the second half of this flaky biscuit. That's right, I'm talking about the pride of Anderson, South Carolina, but most of you probably know him best as the Silver-Tongued One, 2016's honorable mention Cupcake Designer of the Year, the inventor of the Redneck Egg Roll. Give it up. On mic number one, it's Mojo!
What up, folks? Thanks for listening to another episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy podcast. Please go to our Facebook page at Southern Fried Philosophy. You can also go to our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com. Also, the Instagram and Twitters at SFP Radio. You can also go to our YouTube at youtube.com/SFP Radio.
Nailed it.
The migraine's kicking my rear end.
I'm going to ask you like I ask you every week, Mojo, how you be darn?
You know what burns my biscuits, buddy?
What is it, bud?
High-speed washing machines.
What? High-speed washing machines?
You know the front-loading washing machines.
Is this where you can get like dial in or upgrade to the DSL speed?
you would think so. So we have this wash machine, and it don't matter what you put in it and wash. I mean, if you let that thing sit there for like 2 or 3 hours, man, It smells like a funky steak that you've left out on your lawn.
Yes.
It's just that putrid mildew, sour smell.
It doesn't take long.
No.
It's just like a minute.
Not at all. So I don't know what's up with that. And I've done the whole high-speed wash cleansing and sanitizing.
Oh, okay.
But
the cleaning cycle.
Yeah, I've done all that, and just nothing helps. And also, besides that, boy, if you don't have that thing secured to the ground, it'll rattle your teeth off.
You're right.
I put it on last night about midnight, and hell's bells. Woke up about 40 minutes later, thought we had an earthquake coming through. So,
oh, buddy,
how you be doing?
I'm good, man. So the podcast question of the week was, what is your favorite TV show? And there were several comments, but I guess the Seinfeld was Timothy Rogers, Mark Mills. Wow, he really likes Better Call Saul. I'll just tell you that. I can't stand that show.
Really?
Well,
did you like Breaking Bad?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I think part of it was Saul. I don't like him as a character.
Oh, okay.
But mainly it's his voice and just his mannerisms. I think drives me nuts. But
but I guess in context, if you're part of that Breaking Bad whole fan love club, and the Better Call Saul is kind of just a great prequel to how the guy became a character.
Right.
So,
no, I got you.
But I understand.
I'm okay
I
with
see
that.
what you're saying.
But I will say the other show that it drives me bananas is This Is Us. Is your wife hooked onto this thing?
I think she watched the first season, or basically cried the first season. I don't think she's caught up to this current season, I don't think. But
dude, this is taking over my house. I mean,
well, according to the social medias, it was must have been something that upset everyone a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. There was right after the Super Bowl, they had 103.7 million people tuned in for the Super Bowl. 27 million tuned in for This Is Us.
Wow.
All 27 million were basically females. And the guys that have to watch it because their significant others are watching it.
I feel for them.
Oh man, I tell you, I mean, it is really taking it over. I was trying to watch Kentucky last night, and then my wife booted me out and said, "Oh no, I'm going to watch This Is Us downstairs. You go upstairs and watch it on the little TV upstairs."
Right, the black and white.
Yeah. And then Hulu, I had it delayed, and then went upstairs and it was all gone. Couldn't watch the rest of it.
Oh no.
We lost by a last-second 3-point shot. I'm convinced if I was watching that game, we would have won it.
Well, I mean, that's part of that whole jinxing, yeah.
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 I couldn't get it like
Same
I liked
way.
it. So I'm telling you, I caused that.
I'm the same way. I didn't watch the Duke game the other night. I had to step away, and then they lost. So I'm right there with you.
What other, like, what do you do during the basketball games? Do you watch it? Do you have any superstitions?
Pre-game, I like for everybody to be quiet. And they can cheer.
Right.
I've had to almost throat punch my oldest daughter when she started rooting for the other team.
Oh, my.
But she did that in jest.
Okay.
So, but I had to correct her and let her know not in this household. But ever since then, my little one, she'll come with her little Duke stuffed doll, and
Aw.
she'll cheer along with me. So, but yeah, that's a no-no in my house. I don't have any massive pre-game or post-game or during the game rituals, because I know some people that do. But
Yeah.
yeah, not really in our particular household. So.
I'm with you. I'd like to be able to watch the game, cheer. My wife last night wanted to have a conversation with a friend during the game. And I'm like, So that's why partially I volunteered to take myself upstairs. so that I could actually have some gosh dang peace and quiet and be able to watch the game. But I usually wore UK slippers as a good luck charm. I left them in India, so that could also explain this season why we're doing so stinky.
Well, I'm sure they were
there's
probably
that.
made in India.
They probably
and
were.
Since you have some business
I took 'em
connections there,
home.
you might as well see if they can find you a new pair.
You're right.
Bless them over there or something.
Oh, all right.
So what was your favorite TV show?
I loved MacGyver growing up. That was as a
Boy,
kid.
he could do anything with a paper clip and a piece of chewing gum.
Yeah, I grew up wanting to be like him.
Yeah.
I broke so many locks in my house trying to pick them with paper clips and other plastic things that break into them.
Right.
That that was as a kid, that was my favorite.
Yeah, I loved A-Team.
Yes.
And that's one thing I like about the 80s shows is that it was always a good feeling ending. There was a moral to the story. You always learned a lesson.
You did.
Sometimes it was smoking a cigar and saying you love it when a plan comes together, but
Sure.
There's always a lesson to be learned at that. So, but yeah, I think a show that drives me nuts would be Friends.
Oh yes, thank you.
Or Seinfeld.
Oh, I love Seinfeld.
See, I love Seinfeld. I've watched a half an episode of Seinfeld in my life, and it drove me nuts.
How? I would think you would love Seinfeld.
I may have to go back. I don't know. Maybe it's that. I don't know. But yeah, Friends. I think I've seen maybe 2 or 3 episodes my entire life, and it was just stupid. Of course, now that I think since Friends is back on Netflix, I guess, Netflix has been getting complaints from the millennials, thinking that it's not politically correct with a lot of their subject matter.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Holy
cow!
cow!
You have to go back and check that out. So
Seinfeld is on Hulu, and I've been going back and watching it.
Okay.
And for the most part, it's pretty timeless. His comedy is pretty timeless. But there's a couple things you're like, that you can't get away with that.
It's comedy. You should be able to. But I'm probably not.
Yeah. Well, like we do every week, here's a little bit of some wacky news.
Ooh, baby, it's making me crazy. It's making me crazy. Every time I look around, it's in my face.
Well, not the only thing is about to flip upside down. Scientists say that the Earth's magnetic field is about to flip upside down. The results will be devastating on that. So the inside the Earth, this is a geography lesson for maybe not geography. What is it? natural science.
Right.
I guess that's for our listeners. In the center of the Earth is
Pudding.
iron. I wish it was, or gravy. We'll just say really hot gravy that spins around, and that creates our electromagnetic field. At some point, they're thinking it's going to flip over, and then all the rays that are repelled will be allowed to come in. And so scientists are freaking out all over. What do we do? How do we do this? And this was a story from the Daily Mail in the UK. Like, how do we fix this thing? You can't fix the core. You can't send a drill team down.
There's been movies that have tried and they failed almost.
Almost every one of them. You can't fix it. So they're freaking out. What do we do? So when is this supposed to happen? In about 1,000 years.
Okay.
So calm down.
So yeah, let's
we might be okay.
I think we may have other crises out there that are maybe a little sooner, maybe.
Yeah, they say that in human terms, 1,000 years is a whole lot, but in the cosmic time,
Oh yes, it's
that's just a blink of an eye.
Oh yeah,
is what they've said. So I'm not going to get too worried yet at this point, but I think we'll keep an eye on it.
right.
That's what we
Well,
say.
if they have a magic potion in a couple of years that says you can live another 1,100 years, you may want to think about that, because you may be a part of that equation. So I have a story that's coming out of Canada. I'm sure everyone has seen it. Maybe not, but it's coming out of the Guardian paper. Justin Trudeau tells a woman to say people kind, not mankind.
Ooh.
Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, was speaking live in a town hall in Edmonton, Canada. He has now come under fire for mansplaining and being too politically correct.
Uh-oh.
After he interrupted a woman and lightheartedly corrected her for saying, instead of saying mankind, you should say people kind, at a town hall event in Canada on Friday. His correction came at the conclusion of a long-winded question from an audience member that over the course of 3 minutes, including a discussion of her church and the special power of maternal love. So anyway, this cat's taking it a little too far and a lot of Western society in terms. But also, this is just to tell you how our neighbors to the north are maybe losing their minds a little bit, I would say, on this political correctness. Actually, a law just passed today. Canada now officially gender neutral after a bill receives royal assent. So,
wow.
If you think things are crazy in America, Canada might be a little further down the road than we are. So,
I've got a This America story coming up that may top that.
Oh boy.
Golly. So what does that mean now in Canada?
Be honest with you, I don't know their anthem because I know ours. And, But any terms that have any description of
she.
Any gender specific, it will be now replaced with neutral.
Wow.
So, yeah.
How about you?
I would like some explanation or someone to break that down for me. On surface, it makes no sense.
Sure. Well, Bruce Grubb is having a bad day.
Bruce Grubb.
Yeah, he is a brand new farmer in Aberdeen in Scotland.
Okay.
Do you know where that's at?
I do.
There you go. So he is a brand new farmer, and he has a new farm, got it like he likes it. He has got some new cows that are pregnant. He goes out one day after having a housewarming party, and goes inside the barn, looks inside, and says, something doesn't look right here. There's a tiger in my barn. It's not Mike Tyson's tiger.
In Scotland,
but there's a tiger. So as any good normal person would do, he ran outside.
Sure.
Called the police, and then the police came. 45 minutes, there's a standoff in this barn trying to get this tiger. Well, the cops are just looking at it, waiting to see what happens.
They don't want to be the first to be eaten.
Exactly. But again, there's pregnant cows in there, so this tiger could go ballistic at any moment and eat all these cows. Well, 45 minutes goes by, and then they realize the tiger hasn't moved a bit.
Right.
Not a muscle. No tail, nothing. The head stays the same. Just frozen. It turns out that somebody, and we know who this is, it's going to be that guy. Everybody's got that guy in their group of friends.
So it's probably our redneck brother from Scotland.
You're right.
Our Scottish redneck brother.
He got a very real-looking toy stuffed tiger and put it in this barn, and it looks real. I mean, I'll show you the picture. We'll have it up on our website. But that tiger looks legit.
I guess in the dark or whatever too.
Yeah. I mean,
wow,
he's a fake tiger.
Oh, I hope he wore his brown pants.
45 minutes later, the police were like, "Hey, I don't think this thing's working. It's not moving. Maybe we should go in." So they open the door, realize nothing is there, and then they go get said toy tiger.
Well, hopefully they're laughing about it now because we're definitely laughing at you.
Yeah. Another thing that I thought was pretty funny is old Outback. Outback got in a little bit trouble this week.
Yeah.
In Cleveland, Tennessee, there was a wildlife officer that came in, and some of the patrons of said Outback were, quote, scared for their life because a wildlife officer was carrying his service pistol. The manager at said Outback said, "This is a gun-free zone, mister. You're out of here." So they threw him out. He's a police officer,
right,
or a wildlife officer and he can't wear the uniform and not have a sidearm.
Right.
So he had to leave.
Right.
Good gracious. Y'all.
Congratulations, Outback. Also, I'm assuming since you own Bonefish included, and also since you own Carrabba's also. So you just announced that you're a gun-free zone to the whole world. So, yeah.
I can't imagine there's going to be a lot of burglars going into the Bonefish to try to rob people. But hey, I could be wrong.
Not only that, though, I'm sure they have upset now the Second Amendment community, but also any officers, communities out there, they may boycott now. So
Outback did come back and say we reprimanded the manager for kicking them out, and actually apologized profusely to the officer, and then gave him $100 Outback gift card. So he accepted his apology, and everything's all good. So
don't come in with a gun.
Well, you can if you're an officer now.
Gotcha.
They said that you're good, but I thought that was pretty funny. Well, maybe we could talk to Maj about that one.
Yeah. I just the patrons were in fear of their life.
That's the one. That's the part that I'm like.
I guess they were hoping the gun wasn't hangry or something. I don't follow that
because they just go after.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hate to do this one, but here we go.
These are the days of America, brother to brother, hand in hand. These are the days of America, walking together through the promised land.
New York Democrats introduce a bill that would require Tide Pods to look less appealing. Please tell me you saw this. Oh, dear Lord. So there is a bill that will require Procter & Gamble to change the color of their Tide Pods and then wrap another layer of plastic on top of that to make it harder for them to eat and less appealing for kids to eat these. Now, we've talked extensively about Tide Pods on our show, but now there's a bill from the Democrats to try to do this. What is entertaining is Procter & Gamble actually responded and said, well, we do have Tide Pods that have no color. They're like the Tide Free, the gentle ones, and people are still eating those. But here's where it gets a little tricky. If we add an additional layer of the plastic, that has been proven to be really bad for the environment. So now the Democrats, do we harm the environment or do we save the kids? So now they're in a handle. What do we do? And that always makes me laugh when they're in a handle. But a bill to make them change their product. So frustrating.
Reminds me of the soda tax that works so well in New York too. New York, New York is a great state.
Sure.
Minus some areas. But how does government think they can solve every problem? Do they honestly think that these kids that are wanting to shove Tide Pods in their mouth, whatever layer of protection they can put on it, they're still going to do it?
They're still going to do it. It's not these little kids that randomly will go into your laundry room and pick up a Tide Pod or whatever by accident. These are kids that are living in your basement trying to be cool on YouTube, and doing this for show to be all.
I will bet you money that the Tide Pod fad challenge will go away way before this bill hits the Senate floor and passes, because that's how quick social media runs.
Or the idiots that are doing it will die off, and there's no more idiots to do it. I mean, this is like Darwinism at its best, right?
But coming from New York, now New York City has a clean needle program where they hand out free needles to drug users to stifle the
That makes sense.
AIDS epidemic
That's
and
smart.
also any transmittable disease. But we're going to go to a great length and cost to penalize a company to change their product because a few kids ate a Tide Pod.
Right. Well,
Wow. That makes sense.
saving the world.
Yeah, it makes sense.
One bill at a time.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's a hammer to the head moment right there. Just, I'm trying to gather that one. That makes no sense. Even if you take out the far left, I mean, if you go to the far left extreme common sense, what they consider common sense, that doesn't even make sense. Because what about the cities that have bordering states? Like if a kid really has a hankering for a Tide Pod, you can take a couple trains and hop over to Connecticut, and man, you get your fill. I mean, what about eBay? They could be buying contrabanded Tide Pods off eBay. I mean, you can't prevent this. This is stupid. What a waste of taxpayer dollars.
I just don't get it. I mean, if your kid is stupid enough to eat,
Yeah.
like it, even if it's different colors, I've never looked at a Tide Pod and said, "Well, that looks delicious.
Yeah.
Let me rip into that. I need a bowl full of those."
Well, like I said, this whole challenge will be gone. They've already moved on to something else. My daughter's told me.
What
I can't remember the water. It's like spit the water in your face challenge or something. It's something. It's something stupid. I mean, but these are the things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can't fix stupid. I'm just going to say that.
No, it's the fad will be way over by the time that they come up with this.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Maybe come up with a Tide Pod challenge for the kids. Why don't you take that Tide Pod and go wash a load of laundry?
That would be insane.
That would be a phenomenal
That
challenge
would be
right there.
crazy.
Yeah. I almost took a picture. I was at Sam's Wholesale Club the other day and saw a whole pallet of Tide Pods.
Were you hungry at that point?
No, I was like, you know what? This is enough to supply at least 4 high schools. That's what I'm thinking.
Do you think at any point when you were there, you had the free samples of like ham, free sample of like popcorn, and then next to that was the Tide Pod?
I probably should have gone by and checked that little kiosk where you can swipe your card and they give you like a free sample. There might have been a free sample of Tide Pods.
Yo.
Wow. People are silly.
Yeah, well, you are correct about that. And that was our segment called Wacky News, and that was brought to us by Webmerized. Have the online presence you deserve with a new website from Webmerized. Check them out at webmerized.com. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, Mojo reads. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. Hey guys, it's me, Bigging. Summer is made for grilling and chilling, and you too can be the baddest mother smoker on the block using our favorite award-winning smoking sauce. Bad Mother Smokers is perfect match for that favorite meat, veggies, or even that secret ingredient in a pot of chili. Check out badmothersmokers.com to place your order, and if you want to be a barbecue pit master like Mojo, enter the promo code MOJO for 10% off your order. Visit badmothersmokers.com or the sponsor section of our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com. All right, we're back, and here is Mojo Reads.
Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow, a reading rainbow, a reading rainbow, a reading.
This is when public broadcasting was actually decent.
I remember 321 Contact, and that was my favorite.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah, what was the other one? The Electric Company?
The Electric Company.
Yeah, that was good.
The Bloodhound Gang.
Oh, yeah.
I
Let's
like
go.
them.
Yeah,
They always solve the mysteries.
Not the Bloodhound Gang of the 2000s.
No, yeah.
Different Bloodhound Gang.
They solved mysteries like Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Without the dog.
Where in the world was Carmen Sandiego?
Oh, they're making a movie of that now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a good movie.
Yeah, I'm not putting any.
They still
money
haven't
on
found
that
her,
one.
though. At least I'd like to have that part.
The entire movie. Yes, it's like a Where's Waldo,
Yeah.
and you just can't find her.
Yeah.
I wonder if there'll be a Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego 2?
They still can't find her. As long as they don't have the a cappella group singing, that's all I care. I hate that.
Who was that?
I can't remember.
Rock somebody? I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah, that a cappella group always gave me the heebie-jeebies.
I quite like them. Anyway, so
I'm
we're.
gonna look them up real quick.
All right.
Actually, the name of that group was called Rockapella.
I knew it was a rockapella,
Yeah.
something like that.
I think they're still active.
Are they really?
Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, they actually have an event coming up in Louisiana.
All right, just for you, buddy.
Thanks. All right, so this week on Mojo Reads,
Do you want the music?
that's fine. I didn't read a Carmen Sandiego book, but anyway, yeah, this week on Mojo Reads, I actually just finished up a book by a Jesuit priest named
Okay.
Gregory Boyle.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with
I
Gregory
am
Boyle.
not.
Gregory Boyle is the
It sounds painful. I'll be honest.
or father of Gregory Boyle, if you like to call him.
Either way.
He also goes by Father G.
Oh, that's nice.
He
In the hip hop group.
basically for over 20 years, Gregory Boyle or Greg Boyle or Father G has he started a foundation or started a nonprofit / profit company called Homeboy Industries.
Oh, nice.
He has basically, I guess, God placed him in this small church in Los Angeles that is in the heartbeat of gang country. I mean, in the barrio, there's just so many gangs there. I mean, you don't have just like two gangs, you have multiple. And there's an extreme amount of poverty there, joblessness, the incarceration rate, and people getting out. It's just unbelievable. So he basically started, this is not really in the book, but he started, a screen printing process. He started graffiti cleanups. He started a bakery. He's kind of got so many things. Basically, since they don't have jobs, we'll make them jobs.
Wow.
Anyway, this story is called Tattoos, or the book is Tattoos on the Heart. It's basically just excerpts of stories that he's had through connections with some of the youth and adults there. And not all of them have happy endings. They're not where Alicia gets out of jail and then becomes a white picket fence house with a husband and two kids.
Yeah.
It's stories of them coming to meet God in their own way, God meeting them where they are, and the power of compassion and grace and mercy each and every one of those situations. And I guess how he lays out the story or lays out his book is that this is how he saw God show up in each one of their lives. And it's very powerful. I mean, it was a hard read because if you get immersed in his life and stories to where you feel your heart breaks when a mother loses a child, or a guy gets out of prison, has got his life turned around, just had a baby boy, and all of a sudden he gets gunned down through some useless violence of just the tragedies of this life and surroundings of Los Angeles. So, but with that, there's hope still.
Sure.
And that's one thing I really thoroughly enjoyed about the book, was that regardless of the tragedies and the crap that these kids and youth and adults have to go through to try to survive, that there is help and there's hope. So that was it. So I'm just making a quick segment because of our guest coming on, but it's just a really good book. So if anybody has time to go out there and read that, I'd highly recommend it. It's by, like I said, it's Gregory Boyle, Boyle, and it's Tattoos on the Heart.
Out of 5 biscuits, how many do you give it?
I give it a 4.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Highly recommended by Mojo.
I highly recommend it. It's not, even if you're not of the spiritual sense or the or faith presence of mind, it's still a good book to read, just because it gives you an inside look into this community of Los Angeles that you don't see on the tour map. It's not going to be like, hey, let's go grab a In-N-Out burger and let's go down to the barrio and see poverty and gang violence and things like that. So it's it gives you perspective that you may not ever hear about or see about. So.
Yeah.
And one story that I will talk about, one story that kind of touched me was that he had Father Gregory Bull had a speaking engagement. A town asked him to come speak. So he asked two of the homeboys, as he calls it, go with him. And these are kids that never been on a plane, hardened by jail time, hardened by this and that. And they show up in this small town in the South. I mean, just podunk country like where we're from and live and
Sure.
But anyway, they've never seen poverty before like they had in the South.
Wow.
So God pressed upon their hearts to actually come back and help. So these two homeboys have made their mission to come back multiple times to this one town. The town basically adopted them, and they adopted the town. And through that, they've been able to restore families and paint houses and do yard, whatever it takes to help this community out because they were so touched. They thought they were poor, but they also got to see another side of poverty. So that was one of the best stories I think in the whole book. So.
Wow, very cool. Yeah, I was down in L.A. and I spent a week doing some stuff there and hit Skid Row and saw the poverty there on Skid Row, and then I also another time went to East Kentucky where it's the Pikeville and that
Appalachian country.
Yeah, just really horrible poverty there too.
Yeah, it makes you appreciative definitely for what you have.
Yeah,
you feel like a millionaire.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
And really we are. And if you look at the median income of the entire globe, we're
our poorest people are actually richer than most of the other countries. So
you're right.
Definitely fortunate for what we have.
All right, so we'll check out the book, read it, and hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have Maj Toure from Black Guns Matter, and he's been a guest before.
Yep, that's actually our first repeat guest, I believe.
It is. It's our first one. He's back. All right, so we will take a break. When we come back, Maj Toure.
Welcome back to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. Up on today's phone line, we actually have Maj Toure from Black Guns Matter. I'll give you a little refresher. Black Guns Matter is an organization that teaches Second Amendment rights and I guess making sure they abide by the law and what laws are out there for the urban community. He's on a traveling tour all over the country, it seems to be here lately, that he's doing these little workshops and has been increasingly successful. So welcome back to the show, Maj. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. Life is good. The Eagles won a Super Bowl.
Is Philadelphia still standing?
Absolutely. I mean, it was rough that first night. I came back from Phoenix that same morning, and I haven't watched the NFL the whole season,
right?
Because I said I was going to take a year off, until Kaepernick. I just didn't really like how the NFL handled him and how they tried to spin it. So I was just like, all right, well, I'll take a year off unless he gets hired. I'll take a year off, and so every week that went past, he wasn't. Nobody gave him a gig, and in my mind, I'm like, his QB rating statistically was better than 20 quarterbacks. I mean, Shannon Sharp did the actual numbers on First Take. But anyway, I was like, yeah, I'm out. And then, after a few weeks, the Eagles was doing great. And I was like, okay. So part of me was like,
so you
I
caved.
want to watch. But then another part of me, yeah. So I'm like, nah. And then the superstition kicks in. So I didn't even watch the Super Bowl.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Holy cow.
Well, I heard rumors that the Philadelphia city maintenance crews and stuff like that were out there doing pregame rituals by spraying the lamppost with hydraulic fluid.
Yeah. So they had to do that because, one, our fans are the most insane fans in the world. So we had to put hydraulic fluid and grease on the poles because the fans will climb the poles and try to get up to the top of the light post.
So that you can actually confirm that with hydraulic fluid.
Oh, absolutely, hydraulic fluid and just grease, both.
Jeez.
But they didn't plan for the fact that could be lit, and really cause a lot of fire damage.
They should have gone to Amazon and got a 55-gallon barrel of Astroglide or something.
Yo, when I tell you dudes was they've overturned cars. The Ritz-Hilton Hotel, where usually a lot of opposing teams stay, they have this nice little awning that goes from the bus to right into the entry. 50 people were on top of that, and that collapsed with 50 people on it. It was insane. And nobody, I don't think, was too hurt too bad, but it was just, I mean, tomorrow, I'm debating if I want to even go to the parade tomorrow. It's supposed to be like 4 million people.
Maj, I do want to kind of talk about that on a serious note. People are comparing that, the damage caused by the Super Bowl win and the fans there versus, the Black Guns Matter and
or Black Lives Matter.
The Black Lives Matter. Sorry, that's Black Guns Matter too. The Black Lives Matter movement and people getting, rioting for that case. Like, do you see the discrepancy, or is it just a made up thing?
Oh, it's even as a fan of the Eagles, and we killed the drought. It's a clear contradiction. It's a clear contradiction. I mean, and don't get me wrong, because I'm gonna keep it 100. You overturn one of my cars and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what riot or fanfare, it does not matter to me. But it's a clear contradiction. Absolutely, it's no different than after big wins. Hockey. I mean, Philly fans are insane. That's just what it is, right? However, after good strong wins, there's guys that at the hockey games are completely trashed in public, throwing up on the trains. I take the trains a lot, and I can see the difference between that and, let's say, after a hip hop concert. It's a clear contradiction, and I'm very careful with my words, and I'm very I don't think the term racist is, I think it's watered down a lot now. So racist, contradiction, jerk. These are things that you have to earn those words from me. It has to be very clear. I don't just you disagree with me, so now you a contradiction. No, I have to clearly see the contradiction consistently for me to call it that, and that is a clear contradiction. Off top tier, Hall of Fame, top ballot contradiction. Off top.
For me, from this side, even I can say, guys, that's not consistent. You're not being consistent, and that's frustrating on my side.
Right. And see, and that's the thing. And then when somebody, which is why, again, for me, tying it back to the Kaepernick thing, when he was taking that knee, even he was advised by a veteran to say, I fought for the right for you to express yourself. Protest in no way, shape, or form is supposed to be comfortable for everybody. That's kind of like defeats the purpose. You know what I mean? So in a space where somebody has articulated, hey, I just want to bring awareness to, I remember that summer. It was like damn near back to back homicide from American citizens by law enforcement. I believe some of them were accidental. Some of them I do not believe were accidental. And some of them, even if me as a citizen, if I accidentally kill somebody, they're going to intentionally give me some jail time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like you make a mistake, you have to be accountable for those mistakes. And so that ties back into the thing of why I said, I'm going to sit this year out, because you're trying to make something that someone is respectfully saying, hey, I just want to take a knee, and my job is to bring some attention to this. They made it about everything else. Oh, he's disrespecting the flag. He's disrespecting this. He didn't step on the flag. He didn't burn the flag. He also articulated and said, hey, if we get some attention on these things, I'll stand up for the flag again. That's a clear cut telling you what my end game is. You know what I mean? On top of that, here's the irony of it. When Colin Kaepernick was doing that, again, there was a summer where it seemed like, God, like, damn, like every week.
Yeah.
With that being the case, since the conversation has been had about that, you haven't been hearing about law enforcement killing as many American citizens since that. You notice that?
Yeah, that's true.
So in essence, it worked. Even those officers that were having a conversation about it, whichever side they stood on it, you think twice about it. And that's what an agent of change does. In that moment, they may not be, understood, Muhammad Ali, Dr. King. He was being called a terrorist damn near. But now he's on a stand. He got the banks are closed on his day. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I think
go ahead.
I think one of the things that was confusing is it didn't seem like the message was consistent of what the protests were on for the Super Bowl. So it started off as police brutality, but then it got mixed up with slavery from my perspective, I guess. and then it got caught up to, well, America is no good for anybody. So it was confusing, I think, and maybe that was just brought to us by the media and the spin and whatnot.
That was definitely on purpose, because all of the interviews that he did, he was very much so on this very consistent message. But here's the thing. One, most people don't see the interviews unless you're in the local area where that person's game is, or unless you just got, the super football package, and most people don't.
Right.
You watch it on SportsCenter, the clips, the edit. As a person that's been edited and taken out of context a lot, I understand how, even if he's explaining something, whoever's in the cutting room floor is going to determine what's going to be put on SportsCenter.
Sure.
And it may not be malicious. It may just be, man, I got to get this under 34 seconds or whatever the time is. You know what I'm saying? But then the other side, the people that didn't want to acknowledge, and I'm going to be very clear, there were people that did not want to acknowledge the validity in what he was saying, and they had a platform. And some people were just like, oh, no, and that's their personal opinion. But when you're saying this is disrespectful to the flag, and then the next game he says, well, no, it's just no disrespect to the flag, because if the flag is a symbol for the ideals that we're supposed to adhere to, and if any citizen, American of whatever quote unquote racial background, if this is happening, that is the very definition of tyranny. So how un-American is that?
Sure.
And I think some people that didn't want to, and I think he made some critical errors. Like I would have never wore those socks that had pigs on them, as police officers. I wouldn't have done that, and that detracted away from the thing. And I think so. My PR mind kicks in. If I was running that campaign, there was certain things I would have done differently. No different than, I remember when Donald Trump was first running and he was real aggressive. And I'm like, I get you catering to your base, but then he switched campaign managers. And I think it was a woman like mid-stride. And his campaign took a little bit of a different tone. And I was like, now he's listening to whoever this person is. You know what I'm saying? So as a PR person that understands, presenting a message to the general public, I understand that certain things you can or cannot do. So me, for example, we at Black Guns Matter, we had an agenda that we want firearms training to be taught in schools again. So we knew we had to figure out a way to get in schools, and we have taught in firearms training in a public school in Philly this year.
Wow.
And in order to do that, I knew that our earlier press, they showed me with a firearm, but the pull quotes in the context made it look scary. So how could I approach a school, and if they do a simple Google search, everything looks scary? I would be assuming that person would be consistent enough and thorough enough to look past what the optics was. So because of that, I said, okay, we made a decision. We said, we're not going to be showcasing Maj with a firearm anymore. We're going to make this thing about conflict resolution and de-escalation. And if those journalists and photographers want to come to the classes, and then they can see young people, families, children with babies and face paint with balloons and streamers coming to the class, 70-year-old women, we can define our narrative. You'd have to actually go super out of your way to make something be there that wasn't actually there. So that's how we've been able to be successful, because I think it's about safety, education, training, and saving lives. And just, having Americans exercise their fundamental right to self-defense. And that does not mean just against corrupt police officers. That means against the scumbag that might be in the same neighborhood as you that's trying to stop your life, liberty, or your pursuit of happiness. So
crazy.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So all of those things were in a space where it's like, okay, we have to define a narrative. So bringing it back to that scenario, I see how they co-opted the narrative on purpose, because they could consistently, tell the message. That he had to wait until Sunday after a game, because he didn't really do any media outside of that, which I thought was another a limitation, because you have to always, there's a quote that says, until the lion learns how to write, the stories will always glorify the hunter.
Interesting.
You feel me? So that was my take on it.
Yeah, I think that we're really good in this country to mix and match the stories, even the Me Too and Not Me and Time's Up and all this kind of stuff. It's not a consistent message, so we get confused, and it's like, which way do we go? And then we just drop the whole thing because we don't know what the consistent message is.
Well, also you become reluctant to jump on a bandwagon too, because you become scared that you may be chasing the wrong narrative. So
Right. That's true.
Right. So what you really got to do is, what I try to do is like, okay, so take the Me Too movement for 100%, right? So if we're using that one,
Mm-hmm.
I take, I believe that a lot of those women, you know, I'll take, for example, and some of my friends get mad at me because I say this, you know, what's the actress? Lupita Nyong'o, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was one of the earlier women to come out against Harvey Weinstein. Now, in her own account, she, you know, went out with him. She said it was creepy. You know, he wanted her to give him a massage, and she was giving him the massage, and I'm paraphrasing.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to take his pants off, and she was like, "No, if you take your pants off, I'm leaving." And her and her friends, you know, left later, and she went on 6 more dates with that man. You went on 6 more outings with this person after you're saying that initially, you know, you felt uncomfortable. Now, you did that because he's a man of power. Now, you have power, too, to say, yeah, I'm not doing that. You're a creep. I'm out.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I can't really honor that 100% because you took the advantages of what you did or did not do. You played it to your intent. Now you got buyer's remorse. So now the tide has turned. So now the conversation is, oh, me too. No, you took advantage of a situation. Fast forward to Aziz Ansari. This young lady was like, she gave him, can I cuss? We can cuss on here?
Go ahead.
Or no?
I'll bleep you out. It's fine, but go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, she's giving this dude 2 jobs in the same night.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got buyer's remorse and I think I was sexually. He left you alone. He reapproached. You never left. And you didn't say anything to him. On the way home, you said, I think that you didn't pick up on my nonverbal cues. Come on, cuz. And you give him 2 jobs and you say, he didn't force me. He didn't threaten me. But now he's getting attacked, so forth and so on. And then the thing kicks up. And it's like, no. The problem with calling everything sexual assault and calling everything, you know, racism and calling everything, you know, or whatever it is, whatever the ism is, right? The problem with that is now the real violators can hide. You give the actual creeps a safe space. They can hide in plain sight because everybody's selling these wolf tickets. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
And so for me, in those things, in those spaces, it's very clear that we articulate the message and break it down fully. Now, sometimes, you know, you may have to do extra media and repeat the same thing 1,000 times. But if you're trying to keep your message consistent and it's coming from the horse's mouth, that's what you got to do. Otherwise, you let the hunter tell your lion story, you know?
Yeah, I think, because I had this conversation with my wife, and I think the problem, not the problem, but part of the issue is just we live in a culture where it is, women are victims based on the society that we live in, and that's not their fault. You know, guys for the longest time have think that they could just take advantage of the women and do whatever they want with them.
Right.
White men have been able to do whatever they wanted with, you know, the black race. So we live in a society where that's normal, but that doesn't make it right. And so there's that victim, I would say, victim mentality, but it's no one's fault, but it's just this part of the society that we live in. And so,
well, go ahead. I'm sorry,
but I was just going to finish up by saying that that's, you know, not right, and that those things do need to change. But we can't just lump everybody into that group saying, well, he's a man, he's going to do this to me, or he's a white man, he's going to do that to me. Yep. So
it's a balance there. It's something that I want to touch on what you just said. It's not normal. It's popular. It's abnormal. It's unnormal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just popular because not enough people were willing, because of how they would be perceived, weren't willing to do the uncomfortable thing, like take a knee, like say, hey, I was accosted. Hey, I was sexually, you know what I mean? There's so many people, for every time it happens, if one person steps up, it might have happened to 4, and I'm, you know, these ain't real numbers.
Right, yeah.
I'm just, you know, but there might be 4 or 5 other people that the same thing happened to, but they just didn't say nothing. Like for me, I was falsely accused of rape. That happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Never even slept with the young lady. I don't have a problem saying, not just me too, men too. This is you feel me?
Yeah.
There's so many men that have had those false scenarios hoisted upon them, but some of us, we feel like, you know, are we embarrassing our family? You know, we don't want people to think we a creep. You know, even I'm talking about genuinely innocent men.
Right.
So we suffer in silence. You know what I mean? And nobody comes forth, and then it keeps happening to other men. And it's like an industry. There's Bill Burr said in one of his stand-ups, he said there is an epidemic of gold digging whores, and nobody's doing anything about it.
Yeah.
Well, I think
not good women, not good men. You know, an epidemic of gold digging whores, and we have to, you know, just like certain women that have been genuine victims have to speak up.
Yeah.
We have to speak up as well.
Well, if you remember, there was a lady at Columbia University who carried her rape mattress to class, every class. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, there was a lady who accused a young man of obviously raping her, and she, as a protest, she carried a mattress around for the next 2 years, or it could have been 3 years, to every class. And this is supposedly the mattress that she was raped on. Well, it comes out that was actually a false accusation. The guy was never even with her, dated her, or something like that. Anyway, that proved to be a false accusation. Another one was Lena Dunham came out with a story in her biography about some mustached Republican who raped her. They went back and did the research on that, found out that it was not actually a true story, and then she recounted that she'd basically embellished the story, which I don't know how you can embellish basically a snub for a date to rape, but
well, he didn't have a mustache.
Then also,
I'm telling
that's
you,
right.
it's a lot of times, you know, and those women I love to make fun of that get caught lying like that, and men, I love it. I love to make fun of those people. I love it because one, it stops somebody that want to play this pump fake game, right? And two, because there's less people doing the fake thing, there's women that are willing to stand up. Like me, I'm open about it. Yeah, that happened. You know, guys in the gun community have grabbed my, you know, those charges, and even though the court summary says withdrawn, guys that are a little bit jealous will go, yeah, you know, he's a child molester, and it's like, damn, bro, that's actually not true, and you know it because you can read. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, they think that that's something that's going to hurt you. We have to. I don't have fear, and maybe I should sometimes, but I don't. So you got to use everything as those teachable moments. You will be surprised how many people are going through very similar things. Yeah. And like you said, to the extent that this woman, you took your rape mattress supposedly everywhere with you for, you know, 2 years. You were the exact antithesis of lazy boy. You were the opposite of it.
Yeah.
Well, in every way, shape, and form. So that person should get not only should they be made fun of, charges should be brought up on those people.
Well, if I remember correctly, the student that she accused of rape actually got expelled from the school and was never allowed to come back. So, you know, there's real world consequences for accusations that are unfounded. Number one, it can ruin people's lives. Number two, basically, like you said, it waters down the real people that are actually victims. And it just, that's what's disgusting right now is that, now if a news story pops up, what do? We hold our breath for a day or two or a few days and wait to see if it actually comes out to be true. So
right, let's and in one sense that's good because it makes you it forces all of these things are growing pains. It's forcing us to be more objective people and thinkers. It's happening so much that we're going, yeah, let me wait a while and see what the facts are.
That's right.
It makes you become a more objective thinker as opposed to going, nah, she lying, or, yup, he did it. Before you run to either one of those, you go, yeah, I felt that way about the 2-year bed rape girl, and she was lying, so let me wait a minute. And that's actually what you're supposed to do. And I know it sounds sucky because if you're that guy that was sexually assaulted, right, you want support and understanding immediately. So I get it on that sense, it could suck. But on another hand, you know, like Dave Chappelle said in his latest stand-up, you got to step back from the elephant. You got to, like, you know, when tying it in the firearms, I remember when Trayvon Martin was murdered, because that's what I think it was, by George Zimmerman. And, you know, everybody went, oh, man, this is crazy. And the way that they presented it was, yeah, that's why these stand your ground laws are so horrible. And I was like, wait, no. Wait, y'all got to step back. I understand that this is an emotional situation. Clearly, you can hear the dispatcher telling this guy, stop, do not pursue. And he did it on his own. Clearly, right? But they made the spin about, yeah, he was able to stand his ground and those laws need to be changed. In reality, stand your ground laws are excellent for people, especially in poor neighborhoods. When someone's breaking into your home, you have the right to, you know, it's an extension of the castle doctrine. In your home, you have the right to stand your ground in your home and defend your castle. When you're at a location and someone's attacking you, you have the right to defend yourself and defend your life. They mix that. So in order for people to, get that, they had to stop with the emotional. Obviously, this dude is a scumbag that killed a teenager. Obviously, right? However, don't let them mix your emotions and now use that against you. So now an actual right that you have, that the whole intent was to be eroded, right? You can't allow one to turn into that,
Right.
And so in a weird way, because of all of these false accusations, I've been getting attacked for this for the last year. And it's like, now it's like, okay, you guys are actually helping bring so many, things to the forefront. It's so many men that just didn't feel like I would be heard. I would look like I was, like I said, a creep or something like that. But we need more people to step up, and that'll translate. That translates into, I do have the right to have a firearm to defend my life. I do, even though I'm from an urban area, I do kind of want to rock with this Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence.
Sure.
I know somebody somehow told me that, oh, this ain't for you. But no, I feel empowered, and that's for me now.
Right.
It translates, and that's what we need to strengthen the citizenship. And in my humble opinion.
Sure. No, I understand. I just wish all these people that are spending all this time lying and manipulating the system and whatnot, if they could just use their powers for good. Like my doctor said, if you would put the same emphasis of trying not to work out to actually work out, you'd actually be doing pretty well,
Right. You coming up with all these great ways of how I got to miss the gym on the way home.
Right. If you would have just gone to the gym, you would have been all right.
You would have been home early. Because now you was going the extra 10 blocks. Now you caught in traffic. You would have been home earlier than, you know what I mean? And it's true. Righteousness in the beginning because of your conditioning. It's like when people say, man, you're not scared. You're going to all of these urban areas, Chicago, Compton, here, you informing people. You're not scared the government going to kill you? No, I'm not. Here's the beauty of it. One, I'm doing the right thing for people. Two, it's American, it's like human rights. And fortunately, we kind of wrote a trifecta, the Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, and the Constitution.
Sure.
So it's there. So I'm actually following the righteous thing to do.
Right.
And on top of that, ultimately, there is no place that you can go or anything that you can't do on earth that the potential for you dying does not exist. You drive to work, somebody can smash into you.
Sure.
You take a plane. I've been on a plane hundreds and hundreds of times. It's a big piece of metal with more metal propelling it into the air, 30,000 feet in the air, and you have on a safety belt. Come on,
and a flotation device.
Yeah, right. You don't, and then the places where you mostly, in America, most of the places that you're going to crash over, there's no water.
Exactly.
You're going to crash and burn. The reality is, no one gets off of Earth alive.
Right. So
while I'm here, why not kind of do stuff that actually helps people and serves people and puts, America and in a greater scheme of things, the Earth in a better position. All I'm really saying is it boils down to this. A good friend of mine, he's been, schooling me a lot more on this thing called the non-aggression principle.
Libertarian principle. Yeah.
Absolutely. With that being the case, I'm just going to be in control of me. You just be in control of you.
All
we'll
boils
cool.
down to property rights. Yeah.
Right. And if the stuff that you're doing affects my personal property or my physical well-being, well, I'll stop you. We'll figure it out. It could be an oversight on your part, or it could be deliberate. We'll figure it out if it got to go to court or something. All right, well, cool, whatever. It's really that simple. They've made it seem very convoluted and deep and all of this to just keep people, away from very basic, simple concepts. I have the right to defend my life. It's my life, my liberty, and my pursuit of happiness.
Right.
And as we translate in that to more, urban areas across the country, we gonna make the hood great again. That's just what's gonna happen.
There you go.
So we've been over 30 some odd, let's say 36 cities. We want to do every state in America, but what happened was, because I suck at fundraising, I was stop telling people, hey guys, y'all kind of pay for this because the classes, are free.
Sure.
And so I had, we ran the risk of, I was like, man, I don't know, because we raised about $77,000 so far in the last
Wow.
18 or 19 months or something like that.
Well done.
But we use it as we go, to cities. So it's
Sure.
not like, our goal is $150,000, but we're using it as we get the $3,500, we can do a city. You know what I'm saying? So, I kind of forgot to keep fundraising because I'll be focused on the work.
Sure.
And so my team was like, yo, dude, you got to like tell people to like donate and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So really, a lot of the people that's listening now, if you guys can, we have three ways of, you guys supporting. We are not funded by anyone other than everyone, you all listening.
Yep.
Our PayPal, which is paypal.me/BlackGunsMatterUS. Our GoFundMe page, which is GoFundMe.com/BlackGunsMatter. And if you want to do something on a more consistent basis, we have a Patreon account. Patreon is something that you can patronize people that are doing things that you enjoy. So you determine how much money you want. You may say, okay, we'll give Black Guns Matter $10 a month, and it'll just come right off of your debit card, like I don't know, your Netflix bill or something like that, right? So that's Patreon, patreon.com/BlackGunsMatter. So if anybody is listening that rock with anything that, we're talking about right now, if you want to support, we tremendously appreciate it.
I just had a great idea. I think we need to change our Patreon link to patreon.com/Netflix. That way they don't get in trouble for donating every month.
That'd be so funny.
And we'll put all those links out on our show notes, so people, if you want to go out there, you can check it out on show notes.
Word, thanks, Joe.
I see that you got to go to SHOT Show this year, and that was one thing I really wanted to attend, but my wife would not let the leash off of me that long. So to give us some highlights, with your experience, but also I want to kind of dive into some things you saw at SHOT Show that we need to be looking for in the consumer market.
So where was SHOT Show this year?
So it was in Vegas. It's usually in Vegas at the Sands Casino. So because it's it's not generally open to the public per se. It's more business to business. So, for example, let's say if I'm Bud Gun Shop or whatever, right? If I want to buy 10,000 of the newest thing that's coming out next year, I'll go to SHOT Show and I can see the stuff ahead of time. All of the manufacturers have a presence there. This year, the ATF wasn't there, though, because, the whole government shutdown, which I thought was so funny. But it's so funny. But, it was just a good time. I got there. I presented. I did an event where I presented to manufacturers, and retailers that wanted to understand how to better engage urban areas. Okay, how can I show the retailers as well as the manufacturers how to better engage urban environments by having culturally relevant information, not just existing in your own silo. And we've been successful at this because the information that we share. And do we go over the laws? Absolutely. Do we deal with conflict resolution, de-escalation? Yes, absolutely. But you have to deal with the elephant in the room. You cannot pretend like, or you think that the thing that you're doing, that it's not racist. But how is it being perceived by somebody else, and what can you utilize? So simple example, right? A guy, let's say he doesn't have that much money. He takes the bus home, right? Let's say he misses the bus and it's like chilly out. But every day when he rides home on the bus, he sees this gun shop. Today he missed his bus. He's going to walk home. It's chilly out. He's got his hands in his hoodie because it's cold. And he missed his bus. And he says, you know what? I'm going to stop in this gun shop because I ride past here every day. Now, the shop owner has a truck, a gun, a car, whatever. It's not even on his radar of cold, miss a bus, walk with your hands in your pocket. To that person, you come in the store with the hoodie on with your hands in your pocket. To them, as a self-defense person, you're thinking, show me your hand. Right. And your energy reflects that. Your energy reflects that. And that person receives that. And they go, man, that guy behind the counter is a jerk. No words were exchanged. No understanding is there. It could be simple as, hey, man, what brings you in today? Right. Well, I normally catch a bus and I missed the bus. I know it's cold and I figured I'll stop in for a second, ask some questions, warm up a bit, then go home. Oh, that conversation right there makes you understand that he doesn't have his hands in his hoodie because he wants to shoot you and rob you. Right. He's cold. You know, and it's those type of cultural misconceptions, you know, and that could be something as simple as a socio-economic. You have a nice truck because you're a successful FFL. This person, you know, he might just be a young professional.
Sure.
He's just starting out, you know. So those are the little things that we talked about there. One of the highlights of that was Chris Cox from the, you know, obviously the NRA Isla came in and like sat in my whole presentation.
Wow.
That's
You
awesome.
know, yeah,
cool.
yeah. I had ran into him. One, I had seen him at the, I went to the NRA Board of Directors meeting a few weeks before that. And, you know, I had ran into him. I was kind of trying to be incognito walking through shot. And he recognized me. He was like, yo, you presenting today, right? And I'm like, yeah, in like a half hour.
Nice.
He's like, yo, I'm going to slide in. I thought it was just political, but he did. He stayed for like, he may have got there at like 1:10, and he stayed until the end,
Wow.
you know?
Very cool.
Yeah. And so that, you know, that was the thing. So those are the peaks of my SHOT Show experience, or some of them. The pits were, I had to leave early because I had a New York commitment. Like, I left like Wednesday, and I missed so many cool people that I wanted to see. But next year I'll have, you know, and I could have gotten out of those commitments, but I had already gave my word. So I was like, nah, I'm gonna just get on the plane and go to New York. Yeah, but it was amazing. I mean, there's no way for you to see everything. It's the Fans Expo Center is huge. It's huge. So it's like, even if I would have stayed all week, I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
And I can't buy none of that stuff right then and there. I can't be like, yo, let me buy this one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, cool. You know, but it was amazing. I can't wait until the annual meetings in Dallas in May.
Nice.
Yeah, I meant to message you before, and I wanted to hook you up with another friends of the podcast, Warfighter Tobacco. They do cigars, the veteran-owned company, and have a cigar company. They were actually a SHOT Show this year too. So I meant to hook you up, but maybe next time. So
hell yeah, hook me up with them. I love cigars.
Or maybe next time you hook us up and we'll all go and we'll all have a good party.
But I think you guys would be. I think you guys could probably partner on some things too, because they're avid freaks on the Second Amendment too. So, but yeah, I have to put you in touch with them.
So anything that we need to pick up for this year or be on the lookout for that you saw at SHOT?
What company is that had the shotgun with the detachable magazine?
Wow.
Damn it, who is that? It might be. I want to say it's Mossberg. I'm betting that it's Mossberg.
Yeah, it is. I remember reading about that.
Yo, I'm like, yup, getting it. You know what I'm saying? New War is coming out with a cheaper. Excuse me, that's because that's not the right word. A less expensive price point for his advocate. Because it came in around 24. When I first started reading the specs, I thought it was going to come in around 3,400 for the handgun, because it's a very, lightweight. It's a performance firearm handgun for sure. Right. 2 silencer code barrels, one of them threaded, one of them not. It comes with a case. It comes with all of these different. When you run down the specs, I'm like, yeah, that joint coming. It's going to come in around 3,400. It came in at 24.
Wow.
But guys were still ragging on it. And I'm like, are you serious? First of all, I've never seen a handgun come with 2 barrels. I've never seen that. I've never seen it. And it don't just come with a box. It comes with a case, right? So all these different things. And then people started complaining because that's my friend. And I'm like, yo, do you understand it? Like, for the hood, like, this is like a signature shoe. This is like a LeBron James move. And so what happened was people would, were complaining, but they're coming out with a $1,500 piece, and it's got camo on the slide. It's crazy. So that's what I would say look out for.
Okay.
And it was something else.
By the way, that was a Mossberg 590M.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
I saw the SIG 365. Now I love like a little just throw it in my pocket type pistol.
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
Yeah, I did for a quick second. I'm until I shoot it, I don't want to, because I don't want to say something that's inaccurate.
Sure.
Because subcompacts are real snappy for me. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they got a little bit more punch to them. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So generally, I don't really rock with subcompacts, and that's partially just because of my own conditioning. Glock 19, Glock 17 for my EDC. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like it's large enough that if I got to fight with it, it's cool. But it can maintain that, handle that recoil a lot. For me, in my experience, subcompacts and me don't. They
Yeah.
they snap too much for me. They beat my wrist up a little bit.
Understand.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what's your personal carry?
G19 stock, no nothing, just stock.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good gun.
There you go.
Yeah, and again, that's
What caliber are you rocking?
9.
Okay.
The whole stopping power. Okay.
Well, I started carrying a 40 cal just because someone gave me a boatload of ammo, so I had to go buy the gun to match it.
Right. If you gave me the ammo for free, okay, cool. Why not? You know what I'm saying?
I'll go buy a new gun. There you go.
Well, that was my excuse to my
understand.
wife.
I understand.
So I failed to mention that I had to buy the ammo and he gave me the gun for free. That was,
okay. So it was the cool trade off for you. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like I'm just ballistically, like so I'll do things like I'm a bit of a gun nerd, but because of the work that we do, I have to, and I don't want to say this, I have to make it the work that we do very entry level. I've seen so many people that have wanted to be involved in firearms, and guys will damn near talk them right to the anti-gun side because they hit them with so much information.
Yeah.
Like calibers and all that from the gate. And it's like, listen, you could spend a year on cartridges and calibers and not even scratch the surface.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you hit, beginners, everybody starts at 22 at our classes. Everybody. I don't care. You play Call of Duty. I don't care. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? 22, then 9. You know what I'm saying? And because most of the people that we're reaching, so take Boston, for example. In Massachusetts, you're going to have to spend $100 to even take the test to start getting your license to carry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I try to make sure that I'm giving them information that lowers the barrier to entry, because in some cities and states, you already getting hit with $100, $200, sometimes $300. You got to get your FOID card in Chicago and all of these other different things. So the reason why I focus so much on 22 because the ammo is the cheapest on earth.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you know what I'm saying? And even to 9, you still ballistically, there's no difference really that a dead body, morticians and guys in the morgue, when they cut those bodies open, they can damn near not tell a difference between, who was hit with the 9 and who was hit with the 40.
Yeah.
So, and it also forces, we try to train our people, obviously proper stance, proper grip, all that other stuff, but man, make your shots count, man. Shot placement. And I know that sounds so cheesy. The 40 guys and the 10 millimeter guys too is going to be like stub and pop, and that's and everything, chicken or the egg. It's always going to be one of those two things. You know what I'm saying? Is Darth Vader right? Is the Sith side right? Or is the Jedi side way right? It's always going to be that.
Well, look,
you know what I'm saying?
It don't matter what size bullet you throw at them. If you don't hit them, it ain't going to do nothing.
Right, exactly. So we and then even when people say that thing, like, yeah, you people only carry 9 because the 40, or whatever they say. And I go, okay, well, so what about 22? 22 is nothing. Okay, so can I shoot you in the head with it?
Yeah.
And very quickly, people, it's those things, and these things that we're walking around on. We walking around with little rockets on us, like and we got to be very careful, especially with beginners, man. To make sure that we don't indoctrinate them. We let them make their own, decisions and assessment. But the basis of that being, there's no way to go wrong by proper training and knowing, making sure your sight alignment is right, so you hitting where you're trying to hit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way to kind of like mess that up. So with the beginners, and as they walk through it, if they run through a few boxes of 9 over the times that they're not like us. They don't live. I live 3 blocks away from my range, and I don't pay for ammo. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So it's like nobody else has that ultimate hookup. So with that, well, some people do, but the thing is, in the beginning, they may go to the range once a month, once every 2 months. I want them to get understanding of the strong fundamentals. And then as they grow up a bit, then they say, okay, well, they get more comfortable. Let me try the 40. Now, if they're a bigger dude, their shoulders and everything like that, they could absorb that a little bit better. But that's for that person and their body type and their structure. And just, giving beginners that understanding, and then allowing them, letting the path to envelop them a little bit. before we indoctrinate them is kind of like the thing, that we be on. And we've seen people, a lot of people gradually gravitate, sometimes in a shorter time span than we may have even assumed, because, like you said, you let, it's like music. You let the music talk to you, and if you write a song, the music will tell you what to say. And it's the same thing with firearms.
Yeah, when I was first wanting to carry, I looked at an LC9 and I was like dialed into it until I shot it, and I was like, I hate this thing. I can't stand it. And so now I carry a Kimber because it shoots beautifully, and I love it. So yeah,
you know what? Antonia Okafor was telling me that about her. What subcompact do they have? Damn it, I forget. But anyway, she was telling me about that, and I was like, really? And she was like, absolutely. Now, mind you, she's like 100 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but saying that to say, that's very key what you said, man. You can't, I want, I really like Porsche, but I like the truck more than the actual Panamera because of the feel of it. You know what I mean? I've driven both of them. I don't own either one of them, but if I hit the lottery, I'll go with the Cayenne before I would the Panamera just because of the feel of it. And it's the same thing for that. And that's some of this stuff, man. I know a lot of beginners be wanting like these clear-cut, straight-up answers for like, what should be my gun? And I'm like, dude, what size do you have sausage fingers? You know what I'm saying? Like, all of these things matter. And to get them to a point where it's cerebral, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's where you get people, and they zen at that point. Right. And there's a way to lean in early in their foundation building to make them have that understanding, as opposed to, just subjecting them like, I'm a Glock dude. But HKs are amazing. Amazing. You know what I'm saying? But to me, another thing for me is because I want a Glock is boringly reliable. Boringly reliable. And if I'm out and if all of my homies got, Glocks, if I'm out, they can throw me a mag and we still safe.
Right.
You feel me? So all of those things factor in, So that's that. And what else? We're making National License to Carry Day is going to be a holiday for all gun folks. That's going to be May the 21st.
Well, even in North Carolina, they were trying to get rid of just the concealed carry permit because they were saying that was unconstitutional. I don't know how far that got.
That legislation takes a while.
Yeah, so that'd be interesting, right?
Yeah, that would be. That's a plot twist because it's like, let's get rid of it and then let's make the state constitutional carry. I'm all for, and am I supportive of national carry reciprocity? Absolutely. However, a step up for that, I don't use the fact that I see that something could be better, to stop the progress that's being made. So do I think, President Trump and the guys down in Carolina that wrote that bill, do I think that it's amazing? Absolutely. And we're going to push for that.
Sure.
However, my ultimate goal, like if I could wake up tomorrow and they would be like, cool, it would be the NFA will be repealed and all states will be constitutional carry. Imagine that. You know what I'm saying? Because the funny thing is the 13 states that are constitutional carry have lower crime in regards to firearms. It's like, what a novel concept. People don't go places and kill people where they know somebody could return fire.
Sure.
Imagine that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, a well-armed population is a polite population.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for me, it would be, one of those things.
Well, Maj, once again, please tell our listeners where they can find you at.
For sure. Everybody can check our website, officialblackgunsmatter.com. Yes, I am going to do another shameless plug for fundraising.
Do it.
You guys can hit us on our PayPal. If some people have PayPal, paypal.me/blackgunsmatterus, like United States at the end. Our GoFundMe is gofundme.com/blackgunsmatter. And if you want to be more consistent, even if it's only $5 or $10 a month, patreon.com, patreon.com/blackgunsmatter. And outside of that, you can get all of my social media from the website. And if you got something, you going on something, I've done my obligatory fundraising conversation. But outside of that, if you guys are going through something that, you having a bad time in your relationship, you want to lay something down, man, find me, email me, DM me, find me on social media. Let's just talk about it. I don't care what time of day it is. I don't care what day of the week it is. If you're going something, you have to understand that this Second Amendment community is just that. It's community. So we have to commune. We have to communicate. We have to talk. So if you're going through something, my phone number is 310-279-7413. Shoot me a text. Find me on social media if that's easier for you. I'm here for you. I know you don't even know me. You're hearing my voice now. So through some synchronicity in the cosmos, you're hearing my voice. And if you're going through something, and if you want to communicate, hit me up for free.
What a great mission, man. I appreciate that. So
good stuff.
For sure.
I may have to call you when my wife can't decide what she wants to eat. I have a lot of stress then. So.
There's no, except that. Don't call me. They never know. It's just, you're done. We gotta just you playing the hurry up and wait game there. Everything that you say, she's gonna go, no, I don't want that. Then what you want? I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. That's our nightly argument. So
right.
Well, Maj, thanks so much for being on the show.
Hey, no. Wait. Yeah. Last thing. I have an answer for that. All of the men are gonna thank me for this.
Okay.
This is a trick. When she says, I'm hungry, you say, I got a surprise and I bet you can't guess where I'm going to take you.
Perfect.
The first thing that she says, agree.
Oh, that's genius.
Dude, you just rocked my 20-year marriage. Wow. Actually, you could actually reframe that. What was the question again?
She'll say, when she says, I think I'm hungry. Okay. And you go, I got a surprise to where I'm taking you to eat.
What if we stop that before you do the surprise? She goes, I'm hungry. Why don't you just go #me too?
Oh, yeah.
That's great, boss.
You'll be divorced in 2 weeks.
It's cheaper to keep her, though. I got to do that. Cheaper to keep her. Well, once again, Maj, we appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Right. Thank y'all. I'll talk to y'all in a bit.
Have a good night.
Peace.
Bye.
Once again, we thank Maj coming on. You can go back and listen, check our show notes for his all his websites and links and things like that. He's obviously doing a great service to the community and in the urban communities, but also Second Amendment communities. Also, please go to our iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Also, share your favorite episodes. You can also find us on Facebook at Southern Fried Philosophy. You can also find us at southernfriedphilosophy.com. You can also find us on youtube.com/SFP Radio, and also the Instagram and Twitter's at SFP Radio.
Yeah. One thing I will say, go to when you listen to the episode, you can share it on Facebook. So we would really encourage you to do that. I appreciate Tim. He shared it this week. So thank you, Tim, for sharing the episode from last week. So we are going to go to the segment, What I've Learned.
You gotta live and learn. You gotta crash and burn. You gotta make some stances and take some chances. You gotta live and love and take all life has to give. You gotta live and learn so you can learn to live.
And that's our good friend Darius Rucker.
How about that? Hootie and the Blowfish.
Hootie. So, Mojo, what'd you learn?
I learned the non-aggression principle is carrying out through the country, which is a good thing. And if anyone has any questions about the non-aggression principle, I'll be more than happy to chat with you on Facebook about it. So,
We get in a fight with them about it?
Oh, no. That's the whole part about the non-aggression principle, not to be aggressive.
Gotcha. I learned don't mess around with toy tigers because that could get people in trouble.
Absolutely. Also learned that you probably just need to keep your mouth shut while you're in Canada because evidently you'll be mansplaining or politically incorrect.
Mm-hmm. I learned that next year we will go ahead and book our flight to Vegas so we can go to SHOT Show.
Yeah, we just need to figure out how to get in.
Yeah, well, maybe we can have some.
Actually, I'm just going to carry around I'm going to wear Black Guns Matter sweatshirts while smoking a Warfighter cigar.
Oh, clearly you look just like either one of them.
Well, I'm in the.
You know how I'm going to get in?
How's that?
I'm going to carry a box of Krispy Kremes.
You want to dress up as a waiter?
You
know, it works in the movies all the time.
Yeah, so. Sure. All right, so that's the episode. Next week we have got Nate from Downtown Donuts, so he's going to be on the show.
Share his personal story about a small business and things. Just another small business focus for those listeners out there who want to start their own business, may not have the courage. So
and share his love of donuts.
I can't eat them.
Yeah, you'll have one. We won't tell
Okay.
anybody. All right. So that's it. You're listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it,
Thanks, guys.
and we'll see you next week.